Did you get a chance to listen to Cleo Sol?
I did. I love that Sunshine song. Like her voice is so beautiful. It's so like it gave me like it kind of gave me Sade, you know? I feel like
Word.
Sade's music is definitely sounds more like makes you feel like you're in the cosmos, just like floating, you know?
Yeah,
Word up.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
But
Come on.
hers,
Come on. We got to get all this on.
That's true.
We
Yes,
gotta
we need
hold
to go
on.
ahead and
Hold
start
on.
the show.
Yeah. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars.
Your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
I am Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child. Thank y'all for checking out our most recent episode that is still streaming everywhere. First and foremost, if this is your first time checking us out, whether you watching or listening, make sure you subscribe, whether you are on YouTube, whether you are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are, Google. Your first time checking us out, please subscribe, rate, like, all that other good stuff, because that helps us out as far as getting this content out. So, yeah, man, a big shout out to Ill-Advised Wise guys who were on our last show. Reviewing Certified Lover Boy, you know, the new Drake joint in West Side Gun. So, yeah, man, no further ado, though. If you are watching this, you can see that we have a guest here on the show with us for the first time. We will let her introduce herself. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Jaelyn. I'm a singer-songwriter, born and raised in the Coachella Valley. Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Really.
Jaelyn, everybody, Jaelyn. Woo!
Honestly, that's like such an honor. I didn't know that I was like the first guest, like, you know, the first guest to ever be on here.
Well, you're not the here's the thing. You are not the first guest, but you are the first. This is the first R&B guest that we have never talked to.
That's
any
fact. That's a fact. We generally have rappers. Yeah.
All rappers. It's still a pleasure. Honestly, it's still a pleasure. Thank you.
This is definitely a first. Well, before we get into the show, we'll be talking about Jaelyn. We'll be talking about her work, her journey, what she has going on now, her latest project, as well as the latest album from Cleo Sol, Mother. But before we get into all of that, what are we drinking, ladies and gentlemen?
Well,
what's going on here?
Come on, you never kick it off. So you
know what?
Go first today.
I'll go first. All right. Well, in honor of our Californian guest today, I got Vallejo, India Pale Ale. This is a 6.7 ABV from Half Acre out of Chicago, which is very interesting. I'm not sure why they would choose the title Vallejo for this IPA, but they did. Cheers. And I'm going to check it out right now.
Yeah. So I've definitely had the IPA before about a month or two ago. It's a pretty good joint. Vallejo. Yeah, man. Let's go right into it.
I got it. I picked it up today just because we have this guest on the show.
Yeah. You know
That's
what?
your first time drinking it?
It is. It really is.
I actually was going to go with something. So when we have guests, sometimes I try to pair my beer with, you know, their musical styles and influences. And Jaelyn has, you know, this sensual, you know, very vibey music is what I would, you know, consider it. We'll get into all that, but I actually didn't go with anything. I was thinking about like a sour, Kamal, or something like that. But I went straight to the top, man. I got a triple IPA here from Hot Butcher. This joint is called Face Peeler. Some of the tasting notes on it are lush citrus, bright tropical, and wafting green. So
Hot Butcher face peeler.
Face Peeler, yeah, man. It's a triple IPA from Hot Butcher. So yeah, man. I'm gonna drink on this, and we are going to get into the show talking with Jaelyn about her music and everything else. So come on, where you want to start at, man?
Well, let's start here. Let's introduce Jaelyn as far as, you know, let's have the introduction as far as her music is concerned, and then get into her background. So I was introduced, through your latest project, Hours. So first off, let me ask you, why title it Hours? What is significant about the title Hours?
Hours. Honestly, like I really do this, man. Like I really spend hours like recording, writing, just like coming up with like inspiration constantly. Like people always tell me like, you really like, I'm convinced you don't ever sleep. And like I sleep for sure. I sleep because I need that. But like, no, I don't really go to sleep until I'm like, I really feel like I'm burnt out, and that's like, sometimes it's not until like 7 a.m., or like 6 a.m. And it's just, really just kind of resembled like just kind of, hours. Like it's just hours I'm putting into this, like, not only that, but just like also figuring it out. You know what I mean? Like Hours was a project that kind of, I want to say like reflected who I was in that season, and I had just got into a new relationship, and it was like the best relationship I've ever had, where it was like so healthy, very like constantly growing and learning, and it just kind of like, it resembled just that, the hours of like just learning about yourself, learning about somebody else, also just like growing with that person. Like it's just, it was just like a representation of where I was in that season. And it's so crazy because it felt like time was going by so fast, so that's where I kind of came up with the inspiration of like, okay, let's call it Hours. And it's crazy because The Weeknd's album had came out too, and I didn't even know that his album was like similar to mine. And yeah, it was crazy, but yeah, that's kind of where I came up with the inspiration to name it that. So
Right on.
And this is right at the beginning when everything is about to shut down, because this is April of 2020, right? So this is like right as the pandemic is really beginning to kind of, kick in and take off, So yeah. But yeah.
How did the pandemic affect anything that you had going on, or anything that you plan to do with the album, as far as like videos or appearances or anything like that?
Yeah, it honestly didn't affect me as much as I thought it was going to be. The only thing that I could say that it did is just shows, just shows and things like that, because everything was like completely shut down. And I live in an area where like most people are old, like they're very elderly. And so it was like people were very fearful of like throwing anything or having anything open, because of just the fact that like, like the possibilities. And so it was definitely hard to do that. But honestly, I've always been very optimistic, like when things usually like that happen. I mean, obviously take precaution, I'm not saying like I'm out here like, no,
right.
like definitely
I'm outside.
Definitely, like,
Right.
Yeah, like no.
Right.
But definitely like take precaution into like, the consequences of like, your actions of doing things at that time, So, and my parents are old. They're I'm adopted, so they got me at a very older age. So, it was like definitely risky for me to like just be going out and like, but I think the blessing with that was the fact that I have a team. And so like it was easy and I'm with them all the time and every day. We don't really go out or anything like that. So we kind of just knew like, okay, like it's not gonna hurt us to keep doing what we've been doing. You know what I mean? Like it'd be different if we were out just going out and like, you know, separately and things like that. But we're usually pretty much together all the time. So it was like that made it easy to continue to just work, you know. And also during that time, I had got my own studio and just like put up my equipment, you know, in my crib. And it honestly, I saw it more of a blessing than it was to curse. And I'm blessed to say that because I know that there's many people that unfortunately couldn't say that, you know. I did lose a few family members, unfortunately.
Wow.
But you know, when it comes to like my music and things like that, you know, I'm very blessed to say like, no, it kind of was like a blessing and a curse. But when it comes to my music, definitely I felt like I grew a lot in the process of like, you know, because sometimes when you go to a lot of studios and things like that and you work with a lot of people, you kind of forget to, you know, you need to find yourself in your artistry. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
And that takes a journey, and that takes like a lot of time and effort to figure out. And sometimes it's harder to do that when you have a whole team and when you're constantly working with artists and people, you know. Well, for me at least, like when I ended up getting my own studio and things like that, it was like, wow, like I can really be me and be vulnerable, and you know, and then I'll take, you know, whatever I did and I take it to my team, and like they'll probably like structure it a little bit better or whatever, you know. But
let me ask you a question with this. Speaking about, you know, having a team and all that kind of stuff. So you have the Seven Roses joint, and then you have this Hours joint. So what I'm trying to get at is I do feel as if, you know, listening to the Seven Roses joint and then the Hours joint, I do feel like there is a maturation, you know, from the standpoint of your artistry and whatnot.
For sure.
And how has it been since then? Like, what else have you? How can I put it? How do you feel like you grew as an artist through the pandemic? You know, because you coming through, you sing a lot. You know, you have your own studio now. You know, you've learned lessons and whatnot through the pandemic. Like, where are you now? As in, were we September of 2021? Like, what have you brought, or what have you learned through this whole situation and whatnot?
Honestly, like I used to just I feel like I used to feel like, oh my gosh, like we don't have the time. You know what I mean? Like we have to do it, we have to knock it out, we have to do this now, you know, and like, but I'm so young, and like I started making music when I was 15 or really 14, but I didn't release anything till I was 15. And yeah, and it was just like I felt, I mean, I genuinely do everything based off what I'm feeling. I've never been the type of person like that, okay, we have to do this, we have to do that, you know, we have to knock it out. I've always kind of been like, okay, if I feel like doing that, I'm gonna do it. If I don't, then like I'm gonna just sit on it and like wait till I figure it out, you know. But you know, as you get older, you start to feel like life is passing you by and you're missing out on things, you know. And something that has really taught me along the way, especially during that time, is that like, no, you don't have all the time in the world, but you definitely have a lot of time in your hands to figure it out, you know, like there is no rush. And I feel like the more you enjoy the journey and love it along the way, it starts to just come to you, you know. And especially like I said, with the whole having my own studio and have been working by myself a lot lately, like singing all the time and writing all the time, it gives you the confidence because no one at the time is around you to be like, and the thing is too, I love criticism, I'm here for it. Like, because I want to be better. And I feel like a great artist definitely needs to be criticized for the things that they're doing. You know, if it's not, you know, if they see it, you know, more, if they see more potential in it, they should let you know. And I've always been like, yes, like, please do that for me, you know? So I'm not knocking that, but I feel like I was too much of that, like asking people's opinions and thoughts on what I should be doing, or, you know, things like that. And I feel like that stopped me a lot from really like figuring out what I really wanted to do fully, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And sometimes, you know, when you have that, you're not really being yourself to your fullest potential all the time, you know? And yeah. So I think that's one thing for sure. I'm learning more about myself along the way, and I'm figuring out like what sounds I like, what I want to sound like, you know, things like that. And it's easier to do that when you don't have like everybody around you. You know, you're the most vulnerable when you're by yourself and alone, you know?
Fire. Yeah, I like that.
So what is a 14-year-old young, fresh-eyed, whole future ahead of them? What made you decide, you know what? I like to sing. I want to kind of take this seriously. Or was it I'm going to take this seriously at 14, 15? Or, you know, what made you start your journey on this path? What made you, you know, kind of push you out there?
Yeah. So one, I was an athlete before I did all of this. I tore my ACL, my MCL very bad at a tournament. I played basketball at the time. Cool. Yeah, I played basketball at the time.
At 14, 15?
Yeah, I was like I was an athlete. Like I played like every sport. Like I played softball and basketball were my main sports at the time.
Yeah.
I was playing for travel ball, and yeah, like my cousin was like a scout for Baylor, so like I was having my cousins train me in the summertime, and you know, I was like being prepared, you know, like I was playing sports when I was like literally a toddler, so that was like my whole life, you know. And I'm very passionate. Like I'm a very passionate person. Like it's hard for me not to like put my foot in all the way with things that I enjoy. Cause then it's just like, if I do something, I gotta be great at it. Like I can't just be like mediocre. Like I don't know what it is. Like I'm just like that. So it was definitely heartbreaking. So heartbreaking. Because I really thought like, you know, I'm gonna go to school, like I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be a physical trainer, you know. But it's crazy because I was just telling one of my producers that you know, it's crazy. I feel like life is constantly showing us our purpose since we're young, you know.
For sure.
And because I just started reminiscing about when I was younger and my parents had videos of me dancing and singing. And I remember in you know, elementary school, like we would do like these in English class, we would have like poetry days, and like I would write poetry and I would win. And you know, but it's just crazy because like, you know, I was so into being an athlete that I didn't even recognize those moments. And I didn't really even cherish them till now. And then, you know, it's just crazy because now I'm just like, wow, like ever since I was younger, that's something that I always loved to do, but I didn't even recognize.
Right? It was
there.
And
so
untapped talent.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, you know, like I said, I tore my ACL, my MCL. I was just so heartbroken, and I was trying so hard to come back from that, but I never not to sound boastful, but I never learned really like technique, you know what I mean? Like it kind of just came to me. So I never, to start all over again from the ground up, learning just the basics and things like that, it became difficult for me because I didn't really learn how to do those things. It kind of just came to me naturally, you know. And
this is post injury, right? Post injury, basically. That's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And it was just terrible because like the insurance didn't want to go through, so I had to wait like 7-8 months for actually to get my surgery. The doctors kept telling me that it was just a strain, that nothing was torn. So the process was just like terrible. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm listening to you as someone who's had so my right knee, I've had full AC. I've had ACL, MCL, and meniscus tear surgery.
Wow.
And then the left knee, I've had meniscus tear, and but anyhow, so
no.
But I'm an old man, so what you're saying? So you came into artistry out of that situation. You kind of rekindled.
What was it that you said, you know what?
Yeah, so I couldn't do anything, like everything that I love to do, which was playing sports, going outside and playing, like I couldn't do that no more. I couldn't even dance if I wanted to. Like I was going through a lot of pain. After the surgery was terrible. Like when I heard it didn't hurt as bad as I thought it was going to hurt, or what people made it seem like. But it was after, like the surgery was just terrible for me, and I was just like super depressed, and I just was like watching a lot of movies and reading, and I've always wrote, that's for sure. Like I've always wrote in my journal and notes, and I always loved poetry, so I just did that a lot more. And then I started to just like, when I started to see that, like I don't know if I'm capable of playing again, because I really don't have the patience right now to like just suck it up, and like be tough about it. Like I didn't have that energy at the time. It was just very like devastating. So it was just kind of like music or writing right now is a lot more fun doing. And so after that, I was just like getting on these tight beats, and I started writing. And at the time I was rapping. I didn't really know how to implement. Yeah, I didn't know how to, people always thought I had a great voice, but I was never confident in my voice, because I feel like this is every artist though. I feel like before you sing, like when you're a beginner and you're singing, it's like my voice is so weird. Like I don't even want to hear my voice, like I'm not like comfortable listening to myself. And so that's what it was for me. So I would just rap, and then, but the more and more, time you put into it, people started to tell you how good you are or things like that, and it builds your confidence up, and that's along the way, people started to come into my life and like kind of help me figure out like to stretch my words and things like that. Actually, the first person to like recommend me stretching out my words, letting the beat breathe, was Los. His name is Los. He's like he's managers for Travis Scott, I think, or Sheck West, either or, I don't know. But he gave me a call one day, or was just telling me that he loved my voice and loved my music, and that I have a beautiful voice and I should use it a lot more. So, within time, I'm like gradually learning how to do that, because it's like, it's a process. You can't just, if you just nail that right away, it's like, wow, you're great, but for me, it took a little bit of time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. I want to kind of go into some of the music here. I know you have the newest single, which we'll get to, but just speaking about your music in general, we're from Chicago. We have Lakeshore Drive, right? Lakeshore Drive is this long stretch of highway, right, Kamal? Kind of. It's about
I'd say I would. It's a
yeah.
highway. You could
Yeah,
call it a highway,
it's and the
but
road
it's on
goes.
the It's on the lakefront though.
It
So
extends from the south side of Chicago all the way up north, right?
yeah,
And in Chicago, we have this term, a certain kind of music, like like Lakeshore Drive music, which kind of talks about like a music that can put you in a mood that's calming, a mood that's, where you
Mm.
can kind of, relax your mind, or you with your lady or your guy friend, y'all taking that ride. Just putting that to you to let you know, like, you got some legit Lakeshore Drive music. You know what I'm saying?
for sure.
Listen, the
Thank
on
you.
the hours joint, you have the no difference. You have 2 a.m. My
Yeah,
favorite joint on this hours joint is it's either empty or 2 drinks in. I don't know which one I like the most, but
Dope, 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 dope.
2 a.m. That's my joint. I know it's just an interlude, but hey, that's my song.
Thank
Two
you.
drinks in is the hook is all up to you, right? Um, is that what you're saying on two drinks?
Yes,
Two
yes,
drinks in?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes.
You got some Lakeshore Drive music. You got some for real
Thank
vibing,
you.
cruising. Yeah, I just wanted to let you know, give you a little shot town
yeah,
lingo.
right. For
Yeah.
me, it's
Yeah.
Looks to Kill comes in strong for me. I like Empty too. I gotta ask, my favorite song on this whole project
What's that, Kamal? Go ahead.
is Nia Long, actually, man.
Sick.
I feel like, man, I don't know if there's a video for this. You need to shoot a video for this, you know what I'm saying? Like that joint,
Definitely. No,
that
it's
joint
funny
is
that you said
popping.
that.
But
Thank you.
I gotta ask, who put you on to Nia Long's work, or the fact that she is as big as she was, or even Lisa Bonet
Yeah,
and A
I'm
Different
listening
World?
too.
Who introduced you
Listen,
to these things?
and the
As
reason why, because
young
I'm
as you
like,
are, how are you aware of the importance of Nia Long in these? I mean, how are you aware of Lisa Bonet of all people? Lisa Bonet is like very obscure as far as, you know what I'm saying, A Different World. Like how
yeah,
did you who put you on to that?
Okay, well, first things first, like I said, my parents they adopted me at a very older age. So all of my family is a lot older than me, you know? So so growing up, both of my parents worked, at the time before my mother had got sick. And so I spent a lot of time with my older cousins, and they would always like replay Different World and just a lot of old school movies like like Love Jones and like all of those movies, Poetic Justice, all of those. So
all right.
I just grew up like, even though I was born in 2000, like I grew up knowing a lot of like old school 90s like era. And my uncles and my cousins, like they own car clubs and things like that. So yeah, my cousins and my family just kind of put me on fly shit. Like it was just like, and I grew such a love for it. Like, my aesthetic is a lot like very, 90s influence, like modern,
Yeah, I was gonna say you got a lot of come on, remember them look, we're gonna date ourselves a bit. You said damn, come on, she said she was born in 2000. So we were in college in the early 2000s.
Unreal.
And you did have that R&B that was very known for, I'm gonna keep it honest, that slow grinding R&B. You know what I'm saying? That when the party real low, the lights low, you know what I'm saying? It's at the end, ain't nobody trying to fight none of that because everybody, in a certain mood.
He's talking about the club right now. That's
yeah.
club action. You know what I'm saying?
So you got this single that dropped and a couple weeks back, right? Be Without You, which is featuring Rayvon, TDE artist, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And the hook, you know, be without you, it is reminiscent. That's the throwback to the Aaliyah joint, which is kind of from that, you know.
Yes.
So
Yes.
speak a
That's
little
what
bit
we
about
had
that
to
song.
inspire.
How did that song come about?
So Rayvon is actually a very he's like a big brother to me.
Okay.
I grew up knowing him when I first started doing this, and yeah, we just had like a great bond. Like it was just always funny. Like we're just always very like how we met too is even crazier. It was like the Tupac movie had just came out, and he was like coming back from LA, and I just wanted to go with somebody, and on some like if I do go, I want somebody who like loves music and like actually enjoys like just making it as well. So I was just like, I'm gonna just call him. I don't even know him, which is like kind of crazy that I'm even doing that. But like, I'm gonna just call him up and I'm gonna be like, you know, are you down to come? And he ended up coming. And that was like the first time I ever met him. And this was like, you know, back when I think I was like 15, 16 at the time too, because my leg was barely healing. And but yeah, along the way we grew like a great chemistry. So when we finally got together, and we always wanted to make songs together, like but it's so weird, like we always just felt like it just wasn't the time, you know, like. And what's funny, because he helped me record a lot of my early singles, and I seen him record a lot of his videos, and I was there for a lot of the things that he was doing. But we never like felt like it was the time to create something until we finally did, and it was like just smooth as butter. Like we're just like bouncing back, you know, like inspiration and just, I mean, we both freestyled our parts and put it together, and we kind of just had, or he started singing, you know, be without you, and I'm like, bro, that's fire, because everybody is like remixing, you know, an old joint, you know, nowadays to as a sample, or you know, in a verse, you know, Drake does it all the time, you know. So it was like, yeah, it just was smooth. Like it was honestly so smooth. It went by so fast. Like but yeah, it just came to us. I don't know, it just came to us. We're like, yeah, we're gonna stick with that.
No, that's perfect too. Cause I mean, that song came out around the same time as Aaliyah's music started to hit too. I don't know if that's super coincidental, but you know, like,
yeah,
because her music hasn't been on any streaming platform,
none
until like the past couple weeks. So
weeks, yeah. So who made you upset that you had to go in on all in like that?
all in.
I mean, because you definitely, you know, gave it that. If there was ever a singer that had the ferocity of a rapper, you know what I'm saying, it would have been on a song like that. And I definitely had to ask, dang, who made her upset, man? Because she taking names around here. She checking people in this joint.
Man, okay, so yeah, I wanted to come inside my room because it was just like, okay, I just wanted to be out here for a little bit. But yeah, I know, you just like so much is going on. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Like the dog's barking, good. My mom's calling me.
No, you good.
But yeah, that was a situation about just very unrelevant person, honestly, but it was just a lot of unnecessary drama. And you know, I grew up, my family is like not friendly, and no, my family is just crazy. I'm gonna just put that there. My family is just crazy. And you know, so growing up with a crazy family, I'm very nonchalant. Like I'm very like loving and caring, but since I grew up with a lot of my family being what they are, you know, like shit definitely can pop off. Like we
Yeah.
don't have to take it to that extent.
Right.
Trust
I
me,
understand.
you know.
Oh, we understand.
Yeah.
We feel you.
Yeah, so it was just one of those things, like, but you know, I used to in school and things like that, like I didn't know how to communicate. That's why I always wrote, you know, because it was so easy for me to say what I felt on paper than saying what I felt to people and things like that. It was just a lot more difficult for me. And you know, also dealing with like trauma as a child, it was a lot. So I didn't, you know, me having a lot of friends and like things like that, it wasn't me growing up. And so when people would bully me or try to bully me, and my mom is the one to be like, no, like you're getting, I remember the situation with this other girl. She was like picking on me, and my mom opened the door, or when I opened the door, my mom heard, and she was like, what did she say? What did that say? And I was like, nothing, mom, because my mom will get out, and yeah, so I was like, nothing, mom, you know, like it's fine, it's chilling. She's like, she parked the car, and she's like, no, you're gonna tell me what she says, or I'm getting off, and I'm gonna figure out what she told you. And I was like, okay, well, this is what's been happening. Like,
True.
And you know, and my mom told me that day, she's like, because my mom has a lot of health issues, so I was like, no, we're not gonna do that today. Like, just letting you know.
Right.
She's like, okay, well, if I don't get a call from the principal saying that you beat her ass, then I'm gonna go over there and I'm gonna beat her ass and her mama ass too.
Turn up. That's right, mama. Turn up.
So I was like, okay. And sure enough, yep, I ended up going home, being suspended. But I'm saying all that to say that, you know, growing up, that's how, you know, my childhood was a lot like. But you know, now that I'm older, I have a lot of things to live for and to lose at the same time, you know, and I can't be reacting that way to everything, you know. And so it was just one of those situations where it was very like tempting, because like you don't want to react that way, but I mean, this person was really doing a lot, like a whole lot. So it was just like, damn, like, should I just, you feel me, like do the deed, or like do I need to just like let it go and, you know, meditate and zen out? Like, I don't know, like I kind of want to do both. Like, you know. So I ended up just, you know, confronting the girl. She just denied everything, and you know, along the way she kept bugging me and doing just childish things. And so I was like, you know what, if worse comes to worse, like I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, I at the time I was like, I'm gonna call my cousins on y'all because I can't no more. Like, you know, but now I've been feeling very blessed, honestly, that it's not even worth losing my blessings and things that are coming to me for that, you know. So I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna put it in a song.
Okay.
That's what's up. That's therapeutic in itself.
Yeah.
In itself.
Yeah, so I decided to do that. So that's how All In came.
I feel you. Who would you say, you know, when you were first starting out and listening to different types of music, different styles of music, and especially, you know, for what you do, is there any artist or artists?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to know
Felt
too.
like you know what, I want to do that, or I can, you know, what influenced you? What's
your inspirations?
Who inspired you when you were first starting out?
Drake, honestly.
Wow.
I didn't grow up.
Hey.
That's real.
Yeah, honestly, because I mean, I was, like I said, I was born in 2000, you know, like I grew up with a lot of oldies and 90s, like, music, and all of that. My dad like loves rock and roll, so I grew up with a lot of influence from that too. But music that I love to write. And so I always loved oldies because I felt like, wow, the things that some of the songs, the words that they would just be so easy to come up with, but it was the way they put them together in the less amount of words that were just like meant so much,
Mm-hmm.
and I love that. And you could just hear just how I feel like at that time there was just it was like a pure world, like people like people actually knew what love was and like knew what it was like to fall in love and pursue those things, you know what I mean? And be vulnerable like that. I feel like people nowadays, kind of like run away from emotions and don't like to feel things. So it's hard for this is kind of going out of topic, but I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna bring it back.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
But like,
Look, that's what we're here for.
I feel like a lot of artists right now, they're not capable of saying what they feel or things like that because they're constantly running away from what they feel, and so anyways, I grew up loving that because I feel like I didn't like I said, I didn't talk to a lot of people, so I listened to a lot of music. And one of me and my mom's favorite things to do is like go on late night drives. So
see, you was making that late night drive, Lakeshore Drive. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And every Sunday, me and my mom will go on a late drive because that's like when oldies be coming on the radio.
Mhm.
So we would just be driving. We still do it, and so my influences from that. Like Gladys Knight and I mean, I can name a bunch. I can't think of them right now, but there's so many. And but other than the old school like era that my parents kind of influenced me growing up listening to, Drake, Nicki Minaj in her prime, it was just so fire to me. Her wordplay, crazy. Lil Wayne. I didn't listen to Lil Wayne as much though as I listened to Drake because I mean it's kind of Drake was kind of like around.
Yeah.
He was just like, you know what I mean? Like it was just like
sense.
easy. Yeah. So but what else? Chris Brown. I listened to Chris Brown a lot growing up. My influence is Sade. I love Sade.
Come on
like,
now. There you go.
My mom always would put like Sade on, or my dad be cleaning the house. It was just like,
true.
Just a vibe. I think that's really, I can't really come up with. I mean, Lauryn Hill, Erykah Badu.
Word up.
Who else? That's all I can think about right now, really. But those are my favorite artists. I just felt like you can genuinely hear their love for music, and their passion for it, and and I love that. I love my favorite thing that I always try and do when I'm creating all the time is that like I have to feel it. Like I have to feel what I am saying. I have to feel how I'm saying it, because if I don't feel it, then I don't expect my audience to feel it, and like that's my purpose. You feel me? Like my purpose is so that people can feel something, and so yeah, that's the reason why I love those artists, is because they've always had made me feel like I am not currently where I'm at right now, they like take me out of like my world, and like I just love music like that can do that. I think it's so powerful, so
well, yeah.
Before we go on to Cleo Sol, where do you want to take what's next? I should say what's next. What's next for you after, so you got seven roses from 2019. Was that 2019?
Yeah.
And then
so
and then Hours from 2020. Are you working on something new? A new project? You still trying to, put hours in motion in different areas? What's next? What's next for Jaelyn?
Man, one, I'm gonna just start with we are doing a video for Nia Long currently. So
Really?
yeah,
See, come on.
Look at
yeah.
that. I need to be an A&R, man. Yeah, that's what's up.
Yeah, we're working.
I'm looking
on
forward to that. Look at that. I'm looking forward to that.
That's sick. Yeah, dude. Yeah, we're trying to go crazy on music videos right now. I think I have a lot of music already out that honestly is a potential hit, So we're just like trying our best to build off what we have. That doesn't mean I'm not working on something new. I definitely am. My goal right now is I want to drop like a 3-piece EP until the big EP, which is gonna be like 7, 8 songs. And yeah, but for right now, the goal is definitely music videos and learning about marketing and all of that stuff. I'm really excited though to do more features. I have a lot of features in the vault right now that I'm just been sitting on with artists that I can't wait to just like have the world listen to it, because I feel like, I don't know, it's I love just doing features with people that love music, like it just comes out just so fire, and I feel like right now music has not been in its fullest potential, and I'm so excited that I've been creating real art, you know what I mean? Like for people to listen to and like sit on and just love, and because I mean, I feel like music is so powerful, and if it's not doing that, then it's like, what's the reason? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have planned.
That's what's up.
Up.
That's what's up.
Well, listen, one of the reasons why, when Space Boy, is that your manager or?
Yeah, that's it's just my team. We all kind of work together. I hate dealing with all the extra stuff, so my team does helps me with that, whenever I have shows and things like that. Yeah.
So I mean, when he reached out, and I listened to your music. I've been wanting to talk about Cleo Sol, but it's just the guests we be having sometimes, we do a lot of rap, but when I listen to your music and the vulnerability and the honesty within it, I'm like, yo, this might be a good time for, to kind of talk. Cause transitioning to Cleo Sol's newest album, Mother, speaking about artists that can, put together projects that have a certain level of honesty and vulnerability and whatnot within the music. I was like, hell yeah, let's do it. So Kamal first put me on to Cleo Sol last year with her whatever project that was. What was the name of that joint, Kamal?
A Rose in the Dark, I think.
Yeah. So she's back with a new project, Mother. I think this album came on the back of her having a kid, right, Kamal?
Yes.
Yeah. But man, I'll just give a couple thoughts. I do like the project. I'm a fan of her. Just the honesty and the rawness and the truth and whatnot within the music. Some of my favorite songs off the album, Build Me Up is my joint. When we first started, I think before we started recording, Jaelyn, you mentioned the song Sunshine, you make that joint. Yeah. That's another one of my joints. That's super fire. But yeah, man.
We feel alive. Yeah.
Oh, okay, come on. All right. Okay.
My joint.
But no, man, I'm in a space where I really, and come on, we've talked about this before. Sometimes I get out of my rap bag and I don't be really listening to rap because, I'll be having an artist like this come out with something that's super, just different and vibey and whatnot. So yeah, man, I'm rocking with Cleo. Is this your first time listening to Cleo Sol, Jaelyn? This is your first time hearing anything?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
it was. Where's she
Okay.
from?
I want to say the UK somewhere.
I want to say that too.
I believe it's the UK, but I could be definitely wrong.
Yeah.
But I know that you know, she is from, because she works with a lot with Lil Sims, who is a UK
She
rapper.
was. She's from. Well, she's got roots in London,
Yeah,
UK.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know if I've never heard her talk. Like, I don't know if she
Yeah,
got an
me either.
accent or anything. I've never heard her just talk. I've never seen an interview or anything. I just know her music.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, come on,
yeah,
go ahead.
yeah, for me, Cleo Sol, she's got a vibe. I like artists that in this way that, you know, it sounds almost like she's just with the band just jamming out and they
They just
just
hit
jamming.
record.
You know, the first time I heard the project, I was kind of on the fence because I didn't hear a lot of drums in the beginning, you know what I'm saying? And being a rap guy, you know what I'm saying? I do like R&B, but I definitely was looking for some drums. But the more I listened to it, and after hearing the whole thing, you know, I like the way she, you know, it's a switch from her first project, which is straight on, it's 30 minutes. And her first project was like 30 minutes straight on songs.
Mhm.
But this time around, she's changing the song in the middle of, you know, like at least two or three of these songs changes. And the whole
Yeah,
song just changes in the middle of it.
yeah. Build
And
Me
it's
Up is
like
like 3 different
7 minutes,
songs. Yeah.
and she's changing the song. And you know, Don't Let Me Fall goes right into Promises. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of albums that do that. Shout out to The Dream. You know what I'm saying? The Dream used to do that a lot. But you know, I like Don't Let Me Fall. I like Promises. I like Heart Full of Love. I like Build Up. That's the first 4 songs already. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I like what she does. I'm a fan of hers as an artist. Uh, I just like what she does. I like what
Yeah, I think kind
she
of
sounds
time.
good.
Yeah.
It's spiritual. It's soothing.
Yeah.
You know, it's easy to get into. You know what I'm saying? It's just very like you said, you know, before we started the show, Jaelyn, you were saying that, you know, her voice feels like it's floating.
Yeah, it's just I love the way she like just stretches out her words. Like it does make you feel some of her songs like you're in the cosmos just floating. It's
Yeah.
just that much of a vibe, you know. Something that I really loved about the few songs I was listening to was that I love how she talks about her life, you know. I feel like there's so many artists that kind of, in a way, yeah, she's talking, you know, in some of the songs or in all of the songs, you know, she is representing herself as in like a new mother now, like taking care of her child and things like that. And you know, even though music is right now, like when it comes to R&B, it's always about like love or like romance and things like that. I feel like it hasn't been done, and like she definitely represented um her idea in the album very well, the way she executed it, you know, like the way she wrote about, you know, this like new love in her life that is different, you know, in a way of like it's a reflection of her. And you know, a lot of music nowadays, you don't hear that, you know, you don't hear people finding themselves again and loving themselves because of uh because of a child, you know, that came into their life, you know, like the only person I could think about is like what's her name, Queen Naija. She has like that one song about her son, you know.
I check for Queen Naija a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, That's what it reminded me of a little bit too. But I mean, no one's really doing that when it comes to like, she has like a whole album just talking about just like this new season in her life that is forever going to be changed. You know what I mean? And she's finding so much joy from it. Like, I haven't heard an album like that, personally. So I loved it, honestly.
See, that's why I like hearing artists, because you did a way better job than we just did on explaining.
Right.
That was
another artist talk about artist work.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, I even her last project, even going into this one, one of the things that I really appreciate about her, and this is something a friend said, was how it feels like she is loving on her younger self. Like some artists, they recognize where they are now, and it's like they're looking back at who they used to be and being like, yo, it's okay that you were there, like, because a lot of times you look on your past and you have trauma and you have things that you've been through, and maybe you are ashamed. Maybe you feel like, damn, how was that like that? But it's you have to sometimes reach back and be like, yo, you're fine.
Yeah, it's all about, something that I've learned along the way in my life is like, there's nothing to regret. You are constantly discovering you.
For sure.
For sure. And like that's why I love the album so much, from the few songs that I did listen to, because like, man, like, I mean, I was just talking about it, a little while ago, where just like artists aren't capable of doing that. You know what I mean? And I really feel like it's because they're not even aware of where they're at a lot of times, And so for her to be that vulnerable and her like having this awareness of where she's at right now and all of that, like it's so beautiful, and the fact that she sings amazing too is like just a plus, Yeah, definitely.
For sure.
Well, listen, Jaelyn, we appreciate the time.
Absolutely.
Let me see. Before we get out of here, tell everyone where they can follow you at as far as all your platforms and whatnot for social media.
Perfect. Yeah. So you can, all my music, you can find it on every platform under Jaelyn, Jaelyn. I know some people have a difficult time finding me sometimes, so just put like 7 hours. That's like the easiest way to like look at me through platforms. My social media is for Instagram _Jaelyn, JAELYNR, Twitter Jaelyn760. I basically only use those two.
Okay,
really.
that's fine.
But
that's fine.
Yeah, that's where you can find me for sure.
Okay.
Word up.
Thank you
for your time, yo. This is positive. We always love to hear an artist's journey and how they, do their thing and flourish into who they're becoming. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna look back on this 10 years from now and be like, yo, Jaelyn is a superstar now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
No, I'm serious, and definitely no, not just because you're here. Seriously, you got some joints that's gonna be making it to some playlists and whatnot. Because
for sure,
seriously, 2 a.m. and Empty is gonna be on a couple of my summertime vibe joints. So
yeah, I love that you loved. And by the fun fact, when I made Empty, I was actually 15. It was like one of the first songs I ever wrote. Yes, I didn't, and I actually didn't write it with no beat or anything. Like, me and my team, we made it from scratch. So like that's one of my favorites, and 2 a.m. is one of my favorites too. So it made me happy that you said that.
Wow, that's crazy.
That is amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
My mind is blown now.
Thank you.
A 15 with so much depth.
That's what the hell? Sheesh. Yeah. Okay, there's that.
Thank you though. Seriously, you guys, it was definitely like a pleasure.